The Zodiac, Shadows in San Francisco. Chapter 1. The First Letters. The city did not sleep. The fog rolled in from the bay, heavy, silent, and cold. The streets gleamed with wet stone, lit by tired lamps. In the newsrooms, typewriters rattled like nervous teeth. One morning, an envelope came. The paper was cheap. The ink was steady. The words were not. The letter spoke of blood. It spoke of lovers and cars, of dark places. The words told the city, "I am here. I kill." The editor held the page in his hand. He read it again. The room grew still. Reporters leaned close. A clock ticked loud on the wall. Someone laughed, then stopped. The police were called. They read the same words. They did not laugh. They saw the detail. The letter knew things that were not in the papers. It asked for print. It demanded it. It wanted the world to see. A cipher filled half the page, strange signs, circles and lines, a puzzle sent to strangers. The paper printed the letter. The presses roared to life. Sheets flew like wings. Boys on street corners shouted the news. People read with wide eyes. Fear spread like smoke. Another paper got its own letter, then a third. 3 letters on one day. 3 voices from one hand. The same words, the same chill. The city was marked. This was not a thief. This was not a man with hunger in his stomach. This was someone who wanted more. He wanted his name in every mouth. But he did not sign his name. He drew a symbol instead. A circle with a cross. A target. The men in blue suits sat in long rooms. They drew up files, pinned maps to walls. The circle with the cross went up, black on white. It was simple. Too simple. A detective read the letters by a lamp. His hands were steady, his jaw tight. He had read letters before. Threats. Demands. This one was different. He could feel it in his bones. The city closed its doors earlier that night. Lovers looked twice before parking their cars. Mothers drew their curtains faster. Bartenders polished glasses in silence. The fog stayed. It pressed on the windows. The city listened for footsteps in the dark. And the man who wrote the letter waited. Chapter 2. The Lover's Lane Murders. The night was clear. No fog, no rain, just the weight of summer. 2 young ones drove out of the city. They wanted quiet. They wanted to be alone. Lover's Lane was not far. It was a place for whispers, for stolen kisses, for time away from eyes. They parked the car under the trees. The engine ticked as it cooled. The boy leaned back, arm around the girl. The night smelled of pine and dust. A shadow moved. No one saw it. The gravel crunched once, then again. He came to the car. He wore dark clothes, a mask, black with holes cut for eyes. His breath was even, his hands sure. The boy sat up. He did not smile. The girl whispered. The man's hand lifted. A light caught steel. A gun. It leveled at the window. The boy froze. The girl gasped. The voice was calm. It gave orders. Get out. Do as I say. They obeyed. The dirt was cold under their shoes. The mask looked at them, not blinking. He tied them, rope around wrists, rope around ankles, neat, tight. He worked quick. The girl cried. The boy begged. The man said nothing. Then the blade came, a knife, long. The air smelled of metal. He struck, quick, hard. The boy fell first. His shirt darkened. His mouth opened, but no words came. The girl screamed. It cut the night. Then it stopped. The trees held the sound. The crickets went silent. He left them there, two bodies under the stars. He walked back to the car, steady, slow. The mask turned once toward the road. Then he was gone. Later, headlights swept the lane. A driver saw shapes on the ground. He stopped. He got out. He stared. Then he ran back to his car. His hands shook on the wheel. The police came. Flashlights cut the dark. Boots crushed grass. Men spoke in low voices. The boy was still. The girl was barely breathing. She was rushed away. The rope lay there, the knife wounds deep. The scene told the story. It was not rage. It was not passion. It was cold. It was planned. The mask was gone, but the mark of the man stayed. The circle with the cross. The city woke to the news. Another headline, another cry, and the man who signed with a symbol smiled somewhere in the dark. Chapter 3. Words in Black Ink. The first letter came in July, a thick envelope, no return address. The paper was stiff, the handwriting was steady, not rushed, not messy, calm. It was sent to 3 newspapers: the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald. Each one received the same words. He wrote about the killings, about the couple at Blue Rock Springs, about the gun, about the night. There was no emotion in the lines, no sorrow, no anger. It was a list, a confession made of iron. At the bottom, the mark, a circle crossed with lines. It looked like a target. It looked like something permanent. It was the start of a new language. And then, the puzzle. 3 sheets of symbols, squares filled with signs, triangles, circles, letters turned wrong. It was a map to nowhere. He said if they solved it, they would know him. Inside the Chronicle office, men argued. Print it? Hide it? Call the police. The air was hot. The fans turned slow. Cigarette smoke drifted above their heads. In the end, they printed it. Fear said yes. Curiosity said yes. The readers saw it at breakfast. Men in shirt sleeves, women pouring coffee, children with cereal, eyes moving across the page. The cipher pulled them in. It looked ancient. It looked dangerous. At night, 2 teachers sat at their kitchen table, Donald and Betty Harden, a lamp above them, pencils in hand, a pot of coffee gone cold. They worked through the lines. Hours passed. The room grew silent except for the scratching of lead. And then the words came clear. A voice out of the symbols. It spoke of killing. It spoke of desire. He said he killed because it was fun, better than sex. He said when he died, he would be reborn. He said he would hunt forever. But there was no name. There would never be a name. Only the circle with the cross. only the threat. The Chronicle printed the solution. The city read it in silence. The police stared at the page. It gave them nothing but fear. No man, no face, no place to go. And somewhere, in a room with no light, the man smiled. He wrote more words, always more words, because letters were his second weapon. Chapter 4. Blood in the Dark. The summer did not cool. The heat sat heavy on the city. And on September 27, 1969, the shadow moved again. A couple, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, lay on a blanket near Lake Berryessa. It was late afternoon. The water shimmered. The air was still. They were young. They were alive. He came out of the trees, masked, a dark hood, a pair of sunglasses over eye holes, the circle cross stitched onto his chest, a figure from a nightmare, made real in daylight. His voice was calm. He said he was an escaped convict. He said he needed money, food, a car. He tied them both with rope. His hands were steady. Then the knife came out. He drove it into Brian 6 times. He drove it into Cecilia 10 times. The sound of the blade was quiet. Too quiet. She screamed. He did not stop. The lake was silent again when he walked back into the trees. On Brian's car door, he wrote with a black marker, the circle cross, the dates of his killings, the words by knife, a record, a signature. Cecilia clung to life for 2 days. Then she slipped away. Brian lived. He carried the scars. He carried the memory. That same night, a man called the sheriff's office. His voice was flat. He claimed the crime. He gave details no one else could know. Then he hung up. The city shook again. The papers bled ink. The people locked their doors. The police drove with sirens on and no destination. The man in the hood was still free, and he was not done. Chapter 5. Crosshairs in the City. October 11th, 1969. A cab pulled to the curb in San Francisco. Paul Stein was the driver. He was 49, tired from the night. A man got in. Young, heavy-rimmed glasses, calm. The cab rolled into Presidio Heights. The man asked to stop. He pulled a gun. He shot Paul Stein in the head. Clean. Quick. 3 teenagers saw it from their window. They called the police. The man leaned over the body, took the driver's wallet, tore a piece of his shirt. He walked away. 2 patrol officers passed him on the sidewalk. They thought he was just a man going home. He looked like anyone. He looked like no one. At the station, the radio crackled. A mistake had been made. The description was wrong. The chance was gone. Days later, the Chronicle received another letter. Inside, the torn piece of Stein's shirt. Proof. Mockery. Victory. The letter warned he would shoot school children. He wrote about bombs. He wrote about death. The city panicked. Mothers walked their children to school with hands like iron. Buses drove under watch. The sound of a backfiring car made people duck. The killer had no face, only a voice, only a symbol. The circle cross burned across every page. Chapter 6. A Voice in the Night. The calls began, to the police, to the press. A man's voice, calm,
almost bored. He claimed to be the Zodiac. Sometimes it was him. Sometimes it was not. Reporters leaned over phones with pads ready. Officers listened with jaws tight. They heard laughter. They heard silence. The city learned to live with a phantom. More letters came. Threats, riddles, promises. Each one carried the same symbol, the circle and the cross. Some were crude, some were precise. He wrote of bombs planted by roadsides. He wrote of watching schoolyards. He wrote of lists, names, futures. The Chronicle's newsroom became a fortress of paper and fear. Every letter was handled with gloves, read with dread. The editors debated, print it or hold it. But always the fear won. Always the words reached the city. And in living rooms, people bent over the strange codes. Men, women, children. They tried to find the name in the shapes. They tried to bring a face out of the lines. But the only thing they found was the void.
Chapter 7. Hunters and Shadows. The police worked. Vallejo, Napa, San Francisco. Files stacked high, witnesses questioned, cars stopped, men lined up. There were suspects, always suspects. Arthur Lee Allen, Rick Marshall, Lawrence Kane. Names circled, erased, circled again. Allen was the strongest. He was strange. He had a temper. He owned the right watch with the circle cross on its face. He lived near the crime scenes. He was questioned again and again. But there was never enough. His prints did not match. His handwriting did not match. The evidence slipped through their hands like water. The press chased the story. The police chased the ghost. The ghost chased the city. Each day the trail grew colder. Each night the fear stayed hot. Chapter 8. The Last Letters. By the mid-70s, the storm slowed. Fewer letters, fewer threats. The killing seemed to stop. But sometimes an envelope still came. The circle cross on the front. The words inside like old echoes. I am still here. You will never catch me. The city changed. The years turned. But the Zodiac remained like a scar. Police retired. Editors grew old. Files gathered dust. But the fear did not age. In 1974, the letters stopped for good. Or seemed to. But the name never left. Chapter 8. The Last Letters. By the mid-70s, the storm slowed. Fewer letters, fewer threats. The killing seemed to stop. But sometimes an envelope still came. The circle cross on the front. The words inside like old echoes. I am still here. You will never catch me. The city changed. The years turned. But the Zodiac remained like a scar. Police retired. Editors grew old. Files gathered dust. But the fear did not age. In 1974, the letters stopped for good. Or seemed to. But the name never left.